Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Aisha. I'm back with another video. This has to be quick because I want to make it out before all the men get home and I missed my opportunity. So let's set a timer on my phone for 22 minutes. I think that'll do it. A quick beat. Why not? It's 85 degrees. It's 5:04, so I don't have much time. But as you can tell from the title, we're going to be discussing some of the books that I've read recently and maybe talk about the genres, and hopefully you all can comment some books that you've read and that you recommend. And also Black writers that specialize in fantasy. Please leave some below for me because that's definitely my favorite genre is mystical fantasies. So the first one I'll start off with is educational, The Simple Path to Wealth, and this is by J.L. Collins. My sister, the plastic surgeon who has two specialties, ophthalmology and plastic surgery, so you know how expensive that is. But guess what? She is debt free. So of course I started to read that. So I read that in my spare time when I'm getting my nails done. Just a chapter or two in each interval. It's quite informational. He gives the advisory that he's not a financial advisor. This is things that he's done that worked for him and allowed him and his wife to retire early and live off the money they made when they were younger. So it's got some great insight in there. And I've been doing a lot of books off of the app in the iPhones, the book app, because I noticed it was convenient. I would like to invest in a Kindle, but I also enjoy reading books, the physical books, touching them and turning the page. So the one that I just started is The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter J. Woodson. This book, let's just read the preface. Heroine are recorded not opinions but the reflections of one who for 40 years has participated in the education of the black, brown, yellow, and white races in both hemispheres and in tropical temperate regions. Such experience too has been with students in all grades from the kindergarten to the university. The author, moreover, has traveled around the world to observe not only modern school systems in various countries, but to study the special system set up by private agencies and governments to educate the natives in their colonies and dependencies. Some of these observations too have been checked against more recent studies on a later tour. So it goes into more. That's just the first chapter. Obviously, that's my interest because I studied education as one of my majors in college, and then I worked in the juvenile system, and I noticed their education system is quite different from the public school system, and it, my opinion, needs a lot of work. And I don't know if the public thinks of the juvenile system when they think of public schools and schools that need to be, the school system needing to be reformed. In my opinion, this seems like either, at least the media, they don't speak on the disparity in the juvenile system and how the students there get the oldest textbooks, get teachers that aren't even qualified for the subjects they're teaching, or teachers that don't understand that they need to be working on their biases, being able to deal with trauma at another level, and being able to teach that. And that's hard to find someone who can withstand all that, because that is a lot of pressure. It's draining mentally, a lot of work, and of course they're not going to be paid adequately for their work. So I found this book is going to be interesting. I'm sure we've all heard great things about it, so I thought I needed to check that one out. So those are the two. Is there more? Those are the two informational books I will share that I read or reading recently. Now let's go into the more psychological books. These ones are on Audible, so the Amazon book app, and you can listen to them in the car, which is what I did because my commute for work was 45 minutes on a good day and then an hour on a day where I left a little later or got caught up in traffic in Detroit, because I would be driving from Bloomfield to Dearborn Heights. So y'all know how much traffic there was on the day-to-day in that area. And then especially there's always some construction. Always some construction. And it seems like nothing ever gets done on Telegraph, but there's always construction on Telegraph. So, you know how that goes. Fix this lighting. I gotta get all my lights back. They're all in Michigan. The psychological books, okay, let me read those titles here. So the first one is The Art of Seduction. Ooh, that was informational for sure. The author basically gives a lot of historical context and how people manipulated other people to get what they wanted out of them or to change something. So they used psychology to get something done. And he used a lot of historical references like Cleopatra. Who else? Cleopatra. Ooh, there's so many. Napoleon. Shakespeare he talks about. There are quite a few people he touched on that we all know today. And some new people that I never heard of that I looked up because their story was interesting. And it was crazy because some of the archetypes he was talking about in men and women I've experienced. He talked about one who they don't have a sense of their own identity. Their identity is whoever they're dating at the time. So kind of like a people pleaser, but also someone who gets emotionally attached soon, and it doesn't last because they get tired and they get to know you. So the energy, the thrill is over. So they have to move on to someone else and fall in love with them. I've dated someone like that. It was weird, very weird to say, but I didn't understand what was going on. But now I know that's just an archetype of how someone either manipulates or that's just how they are naturally. They may not even be meaning to manipulate, but they could be. But that's how they are in their relationships, their romantic relationships. And then it also helps you if you want to use manipulation to get a promotion, to get someone or maybe a partner to do something that you've been wanting them to do. It teaches you how you can use manipulation. The next one, I haven't got much into it. I think I'm like, from others, let's see. I'm on chapter, dang, you think they would make this a lot more simple to navigate on Audible. Okay, I'm on chapter 3 of The Will to Change. The chapter is titled Being a Boy, and it is by Bell Hooks, who's also a popular writer, Black woman. It is titled Men, Masculinity, and Love. And that is important because I want to understand how to properly interact with men, love men properly, and that'll help me. I think learning about psychology and how people think and act is important. It helps you. The smarter you are and the more you know how to manipulate people, unfortunately, the further you can get in life. So I think that's important for us women to know and understand. The next one I have is, where did it go? Date Like a Spartan by G.L. Lambert. And the only thing is that's a man, so you have to be a little skeptical of men giving women dating advice. So again, take what you need or take what you think you can apply or what you agree with and use it. There was some information in there that I did find useful and beneficial. But again, I prefer getting my relationship advice from women because I'm a woman and we typically don't ponder to each other. We give it straight up, actual experiences we've had and how it happened or what we've witnessed other women have and what their consequences of those relationships were. So that's why I typically listen to women advice when it comes to dating. There is another book by G.L. Lambert I listened to, but I don't see it on my page. Let me look through this and see if I can find it. Hoe Tactics. I like that one a lot. That was interesting. That one talks about how to date with as the priority, always keeping yourself as the priority, and basically how to choose men and how to find men that will typically follow through with the standards and expectations that we as women set. That one, I enjoyed that book. And again, that was an Audible book, so I listened to it on the way to work and on the way home from work, or if I was working out or walking Bruce. That's why I like Audible. You can do it on your downtime. It's not that big of a deal. The next one, I missed one more educational book. So going back to the first grouping, is called Financial Freedom by Brandy, what's her last name? Brandy Brooks. Brandy Brooks. It's a girl's guide to wealth, career, business, and retiring early, with real estate, cryptocurrency, side hustles, stock market investing, and more. I am on chapter 6, which is titled Wealth Through Your Side Hustles and Online Business. Okay, because we can never have too much money, in my opinion. I know some people are like, eat the wealth, but I'm not mad at them. I can't tell them what to do with their money. Obviously, if I was a millionaire, billionaire, I would definitely be helping a lot because that's just who I am naturally, but can't tell anybody what to do with their money. And this book tells you how to get rich, debt-free, etc. from a Black woman perspective. So that's what I love about it. Let's go back. So I did the educational books and then the psychological books. Okay. Now let's go to the fantasy, fiction, mythological, or romance kind of books. So this one's a series book. It's called The Bone Dolls Twin. It's actually probably my favorite series. It's by Lynn Fluelling, and this book is about a boy who was born as a woman, a female, was born female, but the king is killing all of the female babies that are born in the crown, all the royal family members that were born female. He is murdering them so his heir can become the king of the land. So her dad and some witches and oracles and what else do they call them? I think they call them witches and oracles. So they are teaming up to change the girl to a boy so the uncle won't murder her and she can grow up to take her true place as queen of the land. It is good, okay? It's not like something that you think. They talk about, obviously, sex as in sex or sexual orientation, and it's not overkill though. And they talk about witches, spells, self-identity, confidence, discovering a new path, discovering who you are. It's great. And it's spread across 3 different books. So the first one is when she's just growing up as a boy, has no idea. And then she goes to her uncle's kingdom because the drought is happening, because right now the land is stricken with famine and disease because they don't have the true heir, so their god is punishing the land basically. So the king requests for the girl to come, Tobin is his name, to come to his land and start training with the other knights and knightsmen people, because they may need to go into battle soon, because he's having to kill and fight all these different people who are trying to come after their land because, again, they're cursed. So Tobin is going there and he has no idea that he was born a woman. He finds out there from the wood witch, which is kind of weird. It's kind of a side eye because they make the witches who are from the woods black, so they're native to the land, and the white people killed them off and secluded them to one upper hilltop, so they call them the mountain people. And it's kind of side eye because it's like, what is up with writers doing that, especially like this book and then Twilight? They're always trying to paint them to be like dirty or unintelligent, but this book doesn't make it seem like a bad thing, but it's still a little side eye. Anyways, she tells Tobin that you're actually a girl, and my magic and some other witches, we've turned you into a man so you can fulfill the prophecy of being the queen. And he finds out, has to keep it. He's already fallen in love with his son, his uncle's son, so his cousin. They're best friends in a sense. And he has to keep that secret. Then the second book goes into him living in the new land with the uncle and the family there, having to deal with the wizards and witches and the uncle's courtship, because they're looking for, there's prophecy out that Tobin has been born, and there's someone who's secretly living as a boy that's a woman. So they don't know who it is in all the lands. They have no idea, but it's Tobin, and he's living there, training, la la la. Finally goes into war. The uncle dies, and the cousin in the third book, his cousin friend takes over. Tobin now knows who he is, and then the third book, everyone has known about it because he transformed in the second book. So the third book, he has to basically help fight all the kingdoms with his own courtship, those who believe in Tobin, and then he ends up having to fight his cousin because he's too crazy mentally and doesn't understand that he's not the true heir, but his self-esteem and confidence is so low, he goes through everything just to prove that he deserves to be the king, but he doesn't. So that's that book or series, trilogy. if you should call it. And then I first started that one in high school, but I never read the second book, The Oracle's Queen, or the third book, The Hidden Warrior. The second book is Hidden Warrior, the third book is Oracle's Queen. So I finally bought it on the book app and then finished reading it. So now I have it forever. Then the next book that I just started reading after I finished Oracle Queen is called Villians. It's a series of 10 books, and it's by AAVV. Let me see if I can figure out what her name is. She's got copyright from Disney to be writing these books, so they're basically the villain side of the stories in the popular Disney books. So the first one was The Wicked Witch, Snow White's stepmom. It tells the story about how Snow White's dad remarried her. She was the daughter of the man who created the mirrors. But when she was born, her mother died fatally from childbirth. So the dad always hated Snow White's stepmom and did not treat her properly because he blames her for her mother's death. So she vowed to be a great mother to Snow White because she knew how it felt to not have a mother, one, and to be abused by her father. So when Snow White's dad died in battle, she took over being Snow White's guardian and being the queen of the land. And she came across these 3, I think, sisters who come to the kingdom with a book about witches and how to use spells and fantasies to get things out of people and to get what you want. She doesn't look at it first, and then they keep coming back, and then they torment Snow as well. So she kicks them out. Oh my God, my time is up. Okay, she kicks them out of her kingdom because of their treatment to Snow. But they still come. They still find a way to come back to her. And they basically trick her into using magic. And so she does. And then she gets a mirror delivered to her, the magic mirror. And in the mirror is her father, which is sick because she hates her father because he hates her. And she wants her father to think she's beautiful because of how much she was neglected by him. She wants something out of him. And he has to tell the truth, of course, because he's cursed in the mirror to tell the truth. And she is obsessed with having something to prove to her dad in a way. It's like a really sick thing. So she wants to be the most beautiful in the land. So her father has to basically tell her something good about herself. Like, okay, yes, you are the most beautiful in the land. But then as Snow White gets older, she, of course, becomes the most beautiful in the land. So the Wicked Witch starts to hate Snow, starts making her dress up in rags, starts cleaning. And she doesn't want to hate Snow, though. So she's conflicted mentally because she loves Snow, but she hates her because she's the most beautiful. So now her father is neglecting her in a sense again because he's saying that Snow's the most beautiful and not her. So she's going crazy, cuckoo in the head because her father's disowning her in her mind. That's what she's thinking. So she has the huntsman to go and kill Snow. She sends her on a stupid mission to go in the woods, then has the huntsman follow her in the woods, kills her. Then she uses what she thinks is Snow's heart to make a potion to become the most beautiful person in the land. And of course, the huntsman could not bring himself to do it, so he gives her a pig's heart, and then the potion basically kills the stepmother because it was the wrong ingredients. And the 3 sisters know of this and they're laughing. And then I read somewhere that is a part of the whole. You have to read all the books in order, and the sisters are showing up in other books. So now I'm on book 2, which is the beast within. And this one is about the beast from the book with Belle, Princess Belle, which is, what is that book called? What is that movie called? Why can I not think of that movie? It is The Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. This one says Serena Valentino. So, Beauty and the Beast side of the story. So I'm only on chapter 2. The first chapter basically gives us the backstory of the Beast. The sisters popped up in this too. I need to reread the chapter because I don't remember what happened. But the sisters are in this book as well. All the books are intertwined, as I said. And we start off with him being the Beast, and we don't know how he got to be the Beast yet. But we know he used to be human because of his blue eyes. So I'm going to read that because the first one was great. It was a great read. The second one is the Beast. The third one is about Ursula, which I find out is King Triton's sister. The fourth one is the Mistress of Evil, which I think is Aurora's mom. And then the fifth one, Mothers Knows Best, so we know that's Rapunzel's mother who kidnapped her. The sixth one is the Odd Sister, so we're going to learn about those sisters I was talking about. The seventh is the Evil Thing, which is the lady from 101 Dalmatians. The eighth one is Cold Hearted. I don't know who that one is. It's got a white lady, old lady with a big hair. I think that's Cinderella's stepmother. It looks like it. And the ninth one is Captain Hook from Peter Pan. And the 10th one is just Jafar, I think his name is, from, what's her story? Aladdin's in it. Jasmine, Princess Jasmine. Oh, the movie is called Aladdin, yeah. So I've got some books to read, and those are the books I recommend for you guys because they've all been good reads so far, even the ones I haven't got into much. Please comment below some books that you've read. Final look is done. I'm glad I got that done. I chatted too much, but I still got it done. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.